Candace Harris from Board Game Geek. I'm here with Peter C. Hayward from Jelly Bean Games, taking a look at Meow, the Cult of the Cat. Hey, Peter, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, Candace?
Doing well today, thanks. So can you give us an overview of what Meow is all about?
Yeah, so Meow is a card game for everyone. Like all Jelly Bean games, you can play it with kids, you can play it with adults, kids can play by themselves, adults will play by themselves, they'll all have a good time. And this one is based on the classic game Meow. So if you remember the old parlor game Meow, this one kind of turns that into a modern game for gamers and families. So the setup's very simple. You are trying to join the Cult of Cat. And in order to join the Cult of Cat, you have to pass the initiation ceremony. Now, every player is going to have a little hand of cards. So let's flip over two of those cards and see what these cards look like. Every card is a rule. And to pass the initiation ceremony, you have to follow the rules. So we have here new noise, make a noise that no one has made yet, and pant, stick your tongue out and pant. So in order to win the game, very simple. All you have to do is play one card and then obey every rule. The trouble is you don't know all the rules. It's a secret initiation ceremony. So at the start of the game, everyone gets two cards as here, and then you all pass your two cards to the left. And so you'll see your cards and then pass them over. So you'll have an idea of some of the rules in the game, but not all of them, because you obviously don't know the rules that were just handed to the player to the right. So on your turn, you will play one card. So let's just play one of those cards from the hand there. Just play it face up in the middle of the table. So this one is yawn. So you'll play a card and then you'll do what the card says. So in this case, you let out a big yawn. Then what you need to do is try to follow every other rule. So you don't have to follow the one that's remaining in your hand. You do have to follow the ones that you passed at the start of the game. So that was make a noise that no one's made before. So you go, and it's partially a memory game. And even though it was just a minute ago, I cannot remember that other rule was. So I would say, okay, I'm done. The player to my it was pant, stick your tongue out and pant. So the player to your left can then say, hey, you actually missed one of my rules. And so in this case, they would play the pant card and say, yep, you didn't stick your tongue out and pant like a dog. So that card and the card that you played would get shuffled together with the one card that's in the center of the table. And then each of you would get a new card. So you might get the same card back, and the yawn card as well will be shuffled in. So you might get the exact same card back. You might get the other card that you saw, or you might get the rule at the start of the game that no one knew. So now it's the player to your left's turn. They're going to play a card from their hand. They probably want to play the card that they know that someone has seen, and they're going to try and obey the rules. You keep going like that. And so if after your turn, you'll say to the player to your left, hey, did I follow all of your rules? And they'll either say yes or no. The next player will say yes or no. If every player says yes, you followed all of my rules, that's it. Game over. You've won. Yeah. That's Meow.
Cool. And there are two. I see two boxes over there to the right. What's the difference between the two?
Yeah, so both these tuck boxes actually come in the main box. So you open it up, and the game is contained within. They're not transparent in the final game. I'm sorry to say. When you buy the game, then you get these two boxes, and these are just different player levels. So the blue ones are very kid-friendly. So we saw earlier Yawn, that's a kid-friendly card, and not to say that they're kid-unfriendly, but you know, stuff that kids will have no issue with. Much less memory, much more, you know, impersonating animals is one, which is like, you know, pretend your hand is a trunk, all that kind of stuff. And then the other one is more geared towards gamers. So that was make a noise that no one has made yet. So as well as trying to remember all the rules, now you have to remember what noises people have made. There's stuff like name a color that no one said yet, name a city that no one said yet, and then just sort of slightly more complex rules. And so it's a fun little game of acting like animals and, you know, being very physical. But there's also, I found that a lot of gamers are pleasantly surprised by how much they like it, because there is a memory element of you have to remember what all the rules are. There's also a bluffing element. So on my turn, I might clap 3 times, rub my head, do a little dance, and then play a card. And none of those might be rules. I might just be doing this to throw you off, or I might be remembering rules from previous rounds. And so the next player is like, okay, Peter clapped 3, so I better do all of that. And suddenly you end up with this weird meta where everyone at the table is like, well, I've got to do this. And you get to the end and, you know, none of those were rules. There's also a little bit of almost hand management, where if you know that a lot of people have seen a rule, you want to get that rule out of your hand before any others. And lastly, there's kind of a this is very advanced play, Candace. I'm letting you in on the big stuff now. There is an advanced kind of technique where you deliberately say, yes, you followed all my rules, even though you know they didn't, knowing that a later player will call them out and they can think, okay, well, I know what rules that player has. And then if you want to take it even further, you'll see that there's a before and after card. So this is another kind of optional rule. I don't recommend playing this the first time you play, but you can put these in. And all this means is you'll see some of the rule cards have a starry background and some of them have a big crowd of people. And while these cards are in play, you have to do every one with a starry action before you play your card on your turn and every other one after. So it just adds a kind of another level of intricacy to the game. So that is Meow.
Cool. And is this currently available?
Currently available. It's going to be purchased right now. It is, it's out. You can get a copy. It comes with something like 104 cards, and you don't play with all of them in a single game. So it is the most replayable game you'll ever play because you only pull out about 7, despite the fact that there are 500,000 cards in the box.
Wow. I'm trying to think if it's possible for us to do a quick round, but I guess it's kind of hard without
you sort of need to be in the same spot for this one. It plays 3 to 12 players, so it has a very wide player count, and it plays with as long as you can read, you can play. I know that kids particularly love this game because for whatever reasons, kids tend to have a better memory about these kind of things than adults. So they'll be like, you didn't. I know that I have to do this and this and that. You didn't do that. That's Meow.
I like how you can bluff though. That sounds like it could get pretty good with bluffing and your advanced technique of like telling someone, oh yeah, got that right.
It's cool. One of the things I like most about this game is that it does play at all scales. So obviously families like it with the cute cat art and the theme, but then also a lot of gamers will pull this out as the first game of the night, last game of the night. So we can see here we have, you got to say that you love cats, and you can say that however you like, as long as, so you could be playing a card and you could really try to mask it. That's what a lot of people do. If one of the cards is touch your chin, rather than be like, everyone, I'm touching my chin, you can just be like, okay, what am I going to do? And really try to mask it. Playing an instrument no one has played yet. The fun thing about these ones is that if you don't know what the rule is and someone's just like, you're like, what could that rule be? Is it that they have to make a Ferris Bueller noise? Oh. I'm sorry, I'm getting I don't even know where I'm getting this call. So you can have stuff that a lot of the red cards are really good for. I remember one of them was make the noise of a car, and so someone went honk, and someone else thought that was a goose impression. So they're like, okay, on my turn, I'm going to impersonate a goose. And then for the rest of the game, everyone's impersonating gooses or geese, and the person with that make a noise of a car card is just sitting here being like, what are they doing? Why is no one making car noises? And why is everyone suddenly geese for the rest of the game?
I could see getting a whole lot of laughs out of this. You're the designer of it, right, Peter?
Yeah, so this one's mine. I loved Meow, the old game that you play with a deck of cards, but it was very hard to teach because the whole point of Meow is that you can't teach it, you just have to start playing. And so I wanted to introduce that idea of a game where you don't know all the rules, but it comes with rules. So it's the not knowing the rules has now become the game. And Meow is like a game, and then separately to that, you don't know the rules. And this one, not knowing the rules, is the game. And so I put this one together. This is one of the Jelly Bean games. So we have I don't know how well you can see behind me. We have a whole set of games, most of which are my designs, and this one is our most recent release. Very, very proud of it. Beautiful art by Tina Bongono too. She did a great job.
Yeah. What else does Jelly Bean Games have coming? Or do you want to talk about any of the other games?
We have what do we got coming out soon? We've got right now at the printer finishing printing any day now is Jabberwocky and Goblin Teeth and Surf and Turf. So Surf and Turf is the expansion to Village Pillage, which is one of our most beloved games. Goblin Teeth is a really super fun little dice bidding goblin-y betrayal sneaky game. And then Jabberwocky, another one of our popular games is Lady and the Tiger. And Lady and the Tiger was a set of 5 games that all used the same 18 cards. So Jabberwocky is sort of the spiritual sequel. It's a set of 8 games that all use the same 18 cards. And we got Tanya Walker back to do the art for us. She's done an amazing job. And yeah, we got so much coming out, Candice. I'm excited about all of it.
Yeah. I think that's really inventive to create a game where you have, just the same deck of cards, but you have different games that you can play with the same deck of cards. What
Yeah,
was
no,
the
we're very happy with it. The whole set came out beautifully.
yeah? What was the do you know what the inspiration was behind that idea?
Yeah, so with Lady and the Tiger, I made a game and we got the art. And the art for this game, I don't know if you've seen it, it is widely considered some of the best board game art because it is just absolutely stunning. Just really gorgeous art. So 18 unique
Wow.
pieces of art, no text on the cards whatsoever. Even the back of the card. This is a tessellation of ladies and tigers. So it's just absolutely stunning. So I made this game, we got the art done, and I was like, what, this art is so good, I want to put it out with more than just my one little game. So we released the components online and said, hey, if we ran a contest. If you can design a game, we will award the winner a bunch of money and we will sign some of the runners up, and we end up with a set of 5 great games. So then we just did the exact same thing with Jabberwocky because we were like, that was got a very positive reaction. People really enjoyed it. So we're like, let's do more.
Right. That's such a great idea. I also noticed that there's French toast that's listed as a 2021 release.
French Toast just finished on Kickstarter. French Toast, you can actually play French Toast online. So where we couldn't play Meow, French Toast is great for lockdown. If you just go to FrenchToastGame.com, it's a word guessing game. So I would have a word. So let's say I had airplane, and then you are trying to guess what this word is. But the only hints I can give are your guesses or the word French toast. So just pick a noun. Pick any noun in the whole wide world.
Car.
Okay, so I would compare a French toast to an airplane and try to work out which one car is closer to. In this case, I would probably say airplane. So I know the word, you're trying to guess it. You say car, I say car. Now, the next time you say a word, I'm going to be comparing that word to car. So every time you get closer, that becomes the new comparison word. You always start at French toast, which is why it's called French toast. But then as time goes on, you kind of hone in, and that's a really cool game. That one's 2 to 10 plus players. It's the same player count as Codenames. You can play it with 2. You can play it with a whole room full of people. I've done both. It's very fun at both ends. And it comes with a competitive mode like Codenames, where it's team versus team, or a completely cooperative mode where you're all just trying to guess the word. That is,
nice.
that's an extremely fun little game. That one, like how Meow is based, like how Meow is based on Meow, an old game. French Toast is another old kind of classic game that I've just converted into a Jelly Bean game.
Cool. Hang on a sec. Why did my screen just jumped? And French Toast that you said is going to launch on Kickstarter?
French Toast just finished on Kickstarter, so we're about to launch the Pledge Manager. So if you just go to FrenchToastGame.com, you can play it for one. The whole rule set's online, and also there's a link to the Pledge Manager where you can jump in if you want to get a copy, before it comes to retail.
Cool. I mean, we still have some time. Do you want to try to do a round of French Toast or something?
Yeah, for sure. So, sorry, I thought I only had 10 minutes. I was going very fast.
Yeah, a whole half an hour.
What's that, sorry?
I said you had a whole half an hour. Well, now we got about 10 minutes. 10 more minutes.
Oh, I didn't realize. So. Okay, so in the full game of French Toast, there'd be these hint cards where, I put out a hint card and I give you a kind of idea. We're going to play without that. So are you ready for hard mode, Candice? Do we have someone else there who can jump in as well? I don't know who I've got.
Yeah, maybe Nicky or Lincoln could jump in.
Yeah, we just need his audio, so.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so I'm going to think of a noun, and you guys are going to try and guess what this noun is. So every time you make a guess, I'm going to compare it to French Toast or the previous closest guess. So I've got one in mind. Are you ready?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, hit me.
So now we have to guess a noun.
Any noun that you like.
Okay, Nikki, do you want to go first?
Banana.
So in the real game, it would be timed. I'm not going to time you, but in the full game, there would be a 30-second timer that's ticking down. So don't spend too much time pondering. Just throw out as many guesses as you can.
Banana.
All right,
Okay, so between banana and French toast, I'm going to say that French toast is still closer.
Okay, how about book?
Book.
Plate.
Plate. Now, the thing about this game, unlike Codenames, I don't have to sit there and be very like neutral. I can be as enthusiastic as I want. So I'm going to say plate. Plate.
Bowl.
Bowl.
Cup.
Cup.
Pitcher.
Cup.
Mug.
Yes, the word was mug. The other option I had that I didn't end up using is I can say equal. So if the last guess and the new guess are exactly the same distance, whether that's very close or very far away or anything in between, I can say equal just to give you a better idea. Okay, I'm gonna think of another one. This is a noun. So they're all nouns. They're all single words. And we'll go again. So guess a noun at me.
Lamp.
French toast.
Truck.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with lamp. So at any point, I can be like, no, that guess was closest. So I'm going to say lamp. And between truck and lamp, I'm still going to go with lamp.
Chair.
Lamp.
Sink.
Lamp. So this is where the hint cards come in handy. Every round, the Toastmaster, after every 30 seconds pass, the Toastmaster will draw 6 hint cards and put one of them down, just to give you an idea. So I'm going to mentally, where we're using our imaginations here, I'm going to give you the hint is not ordinary. That's the hint.
Okay. Antique.
Lamp.
Statue.
Statue.
House.
Statue. Candace, what are you doing? You crazy character. Obviously not house. I think we all knew that.
Portrait.
Statue.
Bust.
Statue. Yeah, statue.
Mannequin.
Statue. Oh. No, I'm going to go with statue, but you got me puzzling on that one, Candace. That was very, very tight.
Award.
Statue.
Model.
Statue.
Oscar.
Statue. There's no proper nouns, I should say, in the final
Okay.
in the actual deck of cards. There's no proper nouns, so you can guess proper nouns. That's fine, but the answer will never be a proper noun. Sometimes it can be helpful to guess, Tom Cruise, even though that can't be the answer. It can still get you closer.
Okay. So we're still statue. Museum.
Statue, but again, you got me puzzling. Okay, I'm gonna give you a hint here.
Okay.
It is white. That's one of the cards in the hint deck, and I'm going to put that. So in the actual game, there's this is to is not scale, and after every round, you put one of the cards down somewhere that is not scale. Once those are all filled up, that's the game timer. So you have to get it within 6 30-second rounds. So I'm gonna go with is white as the next hint.
Marble.
Statue.
I
Remember,
just had
is
something.
not ordinary is the other hint. I'm just gonna remind you of that.
Pottery.
Statue. Candace, what are you doing? just a mess.
I just want to keep hearing you say statue.
Yeah.
That's the main reason people play the game. Sorry, what did you say?
Sculpture.
Statue. Okay, so I'm gonna pull out my next lot of hints. And I'm gonna put magic in. Is magic?
Come on, Candace.
I pulled
I'm
from the advanced deck.
stuck.
The game has 2 decks here: the normal deck and the advanced deck. I gave you guys the advanced deck because you got mugged so quickly.
All right. Yeah. You're saying white and magic, so I think
White and magic.
bunny rabbit. Well, rabbit.
I can see where your mind's at.
Rabbit
Between statue and rabbit, I gotta stick with statue. Statue's weirdly close considering how far away it is. That's one of the fun things about this game. One of the most memorable games I can think of, they got stuck on shopping cart. They were like, shopping cart, shopping cart, shopping cart. The word was bathtub, and you might think a bathtub and a shopping cart, they're not very similar at all. But really, when you think about it, what is more similar to a bathtub than a shopping cart?
Okay. So yeah, it's statue, white, magic, and we know it's something
Dove.
unique or.
Dove's pretty good. I'm gonna go with Dove. I'm gonna say Dove is barely closer.
Barely.
Ooh.
Just barely.
Also,
barely,
can I
'cause I
just point out that your standard for magic here, you're like, oh, it's something magic. It must be either a bunny or a dove. Those are the 2 most magical things I can conceive of. What is more magical than a statue? Oh, an animal, just a normal animal that you can go buy right now. That's my definition of magic.
An owl.
Again, I'm just going to highlight that when I tell you guys to think of something magic, you're like, I'll just walk outside and look around. That's magic. I guess in the current times, going outside is kind of magic in itself. I'll say equal. A dove and an owl are equal.
I was going Harry Potter. That's why.
I understand that, but if I came home and I said, hey, I saw something magical today, would you be like, a bunny rabbit?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I got some friends. I have some friends throwing me hints. What about unicorn?
Unicorn is closer. I'm gonna go with unicorn.
Okay,
Pegasus?
and the other one.
Sorry.
No.
I'll say Pegasus. Yeah, Pegasus is closer. What was the other one? Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, the other one was park. I think because of the statue.
No, not park. Oh, because of statue.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what's magic? A park. Yeah. So we're at Pegasus now.
Okay.
Okay. Here's I can give you guys another hint if you want one.
One more hint, and then we'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is not solid. That's the next hint I'll give you.
Not solid. So.
Cloud.
Cloud.
It could be.
Ghost.
Yes, the word was ghost. Well done.
Eric gave it to me. I can't take the credit. Eric gave it to me.
So if you think about it, like you got the statue very quickly, and if you're comparing things to a ghost, a statue is typically like a visual white image of someone who's died. It's hard to get much closer to a ghost than a statue. And then stuff like museum is not really. I was thinking there's a ghost in that movie, but it's not really closer. And then I went with dove because it can fly, and in my mind, ghosts can fly. That was the logical train there. And then unicorn because that's actually magic. The first guess of the whole game that was actually something that's magic. And then a Pegasus is a unicorn that can fly. So again, we're getting closer and closer to a magical white flying thing. And so that's French Toast. It's a very delightful game. Again, actually same artist as Meow. So we got the same artist back to do our lovely anthropomorphic French Toast on the cover. That one plays pretty much any number of players above 2, or including 2. You can't play it solo, unfortunately, but any other player count works great. And again, that one comes with 100 words, and so you can just play it again and again and again. We wrapped the Kickstarter recently, so that one's going to come out next year. But if you want to, go to FrenchToastGame.com, and you can play that right now online. You can pull it up. Everyone just needs to open the browser in their separate windows. You need to jump on Zoom or Skype or something like that. And you can play French Toast right now, and there'll be a link down the bottom to the Pledge Manager where you can order a copy.
Awesome. That was fun. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for showing us Meow and French Toast. And thanks for playing, Nikki.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Thanks for jumping in, Nikki. Sorry I made so much fun of you, Candace.
It's all good. I knew it was Ghost the whole time. I just didn't, I wanted to enjoy the process.
You were like, oh, we got mugged too quickly. That's bad showmanship. You got to really build up that tension and eventually get there.
Exactly.
No, that's been a very fun game to build because we wanted to have a bunch of words in the box. So there's, I think 115 is the final count with stretch goals, 115 words in the box. And there's two decks. So there's the advanced deck and the basic deck. And the basic deck is first time you play something like Mug. The advanced deck is stuff like Ghost, which is not where your mind immediately goes. Everyone knows the word. Everyone knows every word in the game. So but you don't immediately think, oh, it's a noun. You don't immediately go into that kind of mystical realm. And then stuff like skunk is one of the advanced words. And that's a fun one because, again, everyone knows what a skunk is. And people generally get to cat pretty quickly. But it's just that next leap is a little bit tricky. Once you're at cat, you're like, well, what else is very, very similar to a cat, but not a cat? So that game, we're very much looking forward to getting that one out there. Awesome. And until then, like I said, the whole thing can be played online because during the pandemic, it made playtesting very difficult, as you can imagine. So we wanted to make it, we wanted to be able to playtest the game and make sure it was all working and smooth out any kinks, etc. So my brother, who's a programmer, put together this online interface for us, and that allowed us to be like, hey, do you want to play the game? You can right now, even though you're nowhere near your friends. So a lot of people have kind of tied that into their weekly Zoom game night. They'll generally start or end with a game of French Toast because it's fast. It plays any number of players. The competitive mode's interesting because my role was the Toastmaster. So in that one, I was the Toastmaster and you two were the guessers. In the competitive mode, you have two Toastmasters, just like code names, and you're going back and forth. And in some ways, it's actually easier because you get the 30 seconds while the other team is guessing to just think. There's no pressure to say anything. And a lot of the time, people will be like, oh, why aren't they saying this? I can't wait till it gets to us. And it'll get back to the other team. They'll be like, Ghost. And it's like, yes, we got it immediately. Fantastic. And the hint cards can actually be moved between rounds. So often someone will put it, is very big. And then you're like, oh, you know what? An elephant is very big, but people are guessing, oh, star, solar system, galaxy. Maybe it's not quite as big as I thought it was. But the joy of having two Toastmasters is that they can disagree on hints. One person can be like, no, that is very big. The other person is like, no, that's entirely not big at all. Or I think it's fun. No, that's not fun whatsoever. So yeah, French Toast and Meow are our two two big party games.
Cool. Well, thanks again, Peter. That's our time. Thanks for coming and showing us the new Jelly Bean games, Meow and French Toast.